The bugs might be scary, but the bots, they're a whole different beast. When I first started out in this game, I was honestly a bit intimidated by the bots, but now they have become my favorite faction to fight. Today, I'm here to share some of the things I've learned about fighting the Automatons to help you guys out. Now, I'm already on the FBI's most wanted list because I posted some shorts and videos where I mispronounced automatons, so please forgive me. So I'm going to try my best to just share some of the things that has helped me with fighting the bots. If any of these things do end up helping you guys, please consider pressing that like button because it does help out your boy. With no further ado, let's begin. So the first thing to understand when it comes to the bots is they're very different with the bugs because they have so much range. The fact that these automatons have the ability to shoot you in different ways is going to completely change the way you play and change your build. So, as far as landing goes, I really try to just take a route where I can take care of everything. The only tip I will say is I don't recommend landing right on the red. Maybe land somewhere that's away from the red so you can kind of get your bearings in order, and then you can approach a battle. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is the build. So, a non-negotiable for me when it comes to bots is the orbital laser. I love the orbital laser, especially when it comes to fabricators, because you can take out like 5 fabricators at once just using this thing. One of the huge themes of fighting bots, in my opinion, is creating space and keeping your distance. And orbital lasers are one of the most efficient and smartest ways to tackle big objectives, in my opinion. Next thing is the Eagle Airstrike. I love the quantity of uses that you get from this throughout the match. Just because of that, it is so clutch. Plus, it's anti-tank, so I think that speaks for itself. Now, the superstar of my bot build is the Quasar Cannon. I am obsessed with the Quasar Cannon. It has unlimited ammo. It is anti-tank. It one-shots most things when you shoot it properly. This thing is an absolute beast, and I'm a massive fan of it. Highly suggest it. I honestly just look for fabricators across the entire map and snipe it using this thing. And the fact that it's unlimited ammo means I can do that all game long. Now, my last one, I usually have a bit of versatility within this. Sometimes what I'll go for is the shield generator pack. And this works really well with the bots because they're constantly shooting at you, compared to the insects that are only hitting you with physical force up close. So in that case, I actually don't suggest this shield generator as much. But for the bots, it does come in handy. However, I'm not going to lie, as of late, I've actually still been using some other stuff. I would say for the bots, mortar sentries can be very underrated. Because when it comes to the mortar sentries, you can just leave them outside of bases where there's huge walls up, and this mortar sentry can take out almost the entire base while being protected under cover. So I'm just a huge advocate for working smarter, not harder, and I think this build allows you to work smarter, not harder. As far as the booster goes, I usually just go with the vitality enhancement. What is your guys' favorite faction to fight? Is it the bots, is it the bugs, or is it the squids? Please drop a comment below. I would love to hear about it, and I think I might make a video on that eventually if you guys would like to see it. And that's another thing, I didn't talk about my actual build itself. I actually really tend to use lots of different primaries when it comes to the bots. I don't feel like I have a really best one. Right now I'm using the adjunctor. I will say I absolutely love this secondary. This thing is just an absolute beast. It's like a mini nuke. It only has 2 shots, but this thing is absolutely sick. Okay, so first thing, let's calm down our Quasar Cannon. Now here's another good tip for you guys. So the orbital laser is very powerful, but it has a huge cooldown. So with that being said, it might seem like 3 isn't very many, and it's not, but due to that cooldown, you might not even get to use all 3. So what I would suggest to you guys is find a way to use that thing right away. So what I'm going to do is head right to this huge base right here. We can see there's multiple fabricators in here. Now before I throw it, I'm also, and I can show you guys my next concept, is we're going to use this Quasar Cannon first. By using this Quasar Cannon first, I'm going to take out all the fabricators from a very safe distance. That will allow my orbital laser to then use its time for other things that I wasn't able to take out. Efficiency is the name of the game here. I'm not looking for kills. I'm trying to do this without dying, honestly. So now, like I said, you can see them from a distance. If you're ever unsure, you can just simply tag it. And boom, there's one. As you can see, there's another. We gotta wait for that cooldown, which isn't super long. And just like that, it's already ready. Now, I would say like 2 times out of 10, you'll get a shot on it and it won't blow it up. I'm not completely sure why, and I've been doing this for a bit, but it's okay. All right, so we took out 2. We're going to try to clear out the rest, and then once we clear out the rest, we'll try to neutralize that orbital cannon, which I believe uses a hell bomb. We also can throw down the mortar sentry for insurance purposes. I should have done that first, but the mortar sentry has a really quick cooldown, so it's not really too much risk in that. One thing about the mortar sentry though is you just want to keep your own distance from it. Not recommended to be near enemies while that thing is around. Now, quasars are so great for air control. So you can take out bot drop ships, and you can also take out those kind of ships. They do have the ability to one-shot most things, like I said, but everything is really about where you get your shot off. Now, I would say these mechs are some of the hardest enemies with a quasar cannon, considering that this charge up can be a little tough, because these things come in very strong. I don't know where you're even supposed to shoot those things. But we're going to do that, and that missed. So there you go, I died again, and that's totally fine. So now let's show off this Eagle airstrike. It's a good way to control a pretty small area. It's also just a pretty low risk item that you should be using a lot. And like I said, it's anti-tank, so if you have any enemies that you're truly concerned about, just utilize that and you should be fairly good. I usually use thermite grenades. I actually just forgot to turn on my thermites. Thermites are good because they're so strong, so when you get into the factory striders and tanks, they're a great tool. This is a huge difference, I'd say, with the bugs, is like the frag grenades are really better for taking out the bug holes, where once again, quasar cannon's so good for taking out from a distance. Yeah, so just creating space using cover goes a really long way. They also throw grenades, and the grenade tossback in this game is not good. I feel like they can improve that. Definitely one of the most important things about the bots is hitting their weak spots, because some enemies could take a whole clip to take out if you're shooting them incorrectly, but then if you hit them where you're supposed to, you'll like nearly instantly take them out. So there you guys can see there's our bot ship. If you shoot those wings right there is how you can take them out, and I'll show you guys that shortly when we get our quasar cannon back. Diving cannot be talked about enough. It is so important. It is the reason you will survive in this game. It's the only reason I'm still alive in this encounter right now. We need a resupply. Now, one thing about the mortar sentry can protect you, but not as well as the other ones. So in this situation, I would honestly rather have had like an autocannon sentry. But you'll still take the help. It's also going to serve as a distraction, which is nice. So I'm going to show you guys how to take out a turret here. Turrets can be your absolute worst enemy when it comes to fighting the bots, because they have crazy range and they can take you out within an instant, and you can very well not even see it. If you shoot it with a quasar cannon regularly, you will two-shot it. However, if you're able to hit that weak spot on the back where it's yellow, you will one-shot it. So let's give that a shot. I guess I missed that. Let's try that again. Boom. And there goes the turret. Another thing about fighting the bots is there's going to be a lot of random explosions. You just got to be dealing with that. You got to be ready for it. Right now I'm wearing light armor, probably not the best choice. Honestly, would have rather used like an explosive resistance armor. So let's show you guys how to take out these bot drops. You want to shoot it right in that wing. Once you take it down, it's going to drop right down. However, there is a chance that it can drop off the bots before you get a chance to actually shoot it down. And when you do that, sometimes it doesn't actually kill all the bots, so they're still going to be able to respawn. So here's what I mean about being efficient here. Wow, there's a bot right there that's just not shooting at me. Hello. This is an old western standoff right now. Okay, so now like I said, I can destroy this base without dealing with any action. And that is so ideal when it comes to the bots, in my opinion. So there you guys right there can see a patrol. This is basically like a pre-programmed route that these bots are taking. Most people right now would just start shooting at them, right? That is not what you need to do. What you can actually do is just kind of chill and let them pass. Avoid that action, save your resources, save your ammo. That's how I always choose to go about it. So satisfying, honestly, just getting a vantage point and just sniping out any objectives you can. That's like a turret objective right there. I'll show you guys that. I always look out for that orange. So the orange usually indicates that's something that you want to shoot. If you actually look on the back of fabricators, there's two lights just like that. Once again, kind of indicating that you're supposed to shoot it. And there we go. I just took out an objective. So just like that, I was able to take out two main objectives from a vantage point with no engagement at all, which is just absolutely awesome. One thing that is worth noting is I'm such an advocate for the Quasar that sometimes I'll call it in right away and I will communicate with my friends ahead of time. Just pick out turrets and strikes because I'll give you my Quasar within 4 minutes once that cooldown's done, and they get a free stratagem space from it while still having a really powerful support weapon. So little things like that I do feel like go a very long way in this game. So if you guys have made it this far, I just do want to thank you for bearing with me because obviously my voice isn't in ideal conditions. Not gonna lie, I just partied a little hard this weekend. I don't really go out too much anymore, but this weekend I went out 2 nights in a row, and yeah, I'm feeling it for sure. So I appreciate you guys bearing with me. So this is the last lesson I'm going to show you guys, and honestly it might be the most important lesson. These are your biggest enemies when it comes to the bots. It is not the bots, it is these things. I have died from these things more than anything, and the reason I've died from them is not being aware. For the love of Super Earth, I will show you guys what happens. Yeah, not fun. So that is not encouraged. But there you have it, guys. So I just wanted to share some bot tips with you guys. I really enjoy fighting them, so I just kind of want to hop on here and make like a casual video talking about it. These are just some things that I have learned as I've been playing, and I've thought that some of them were pretty valuable. So again, if anything did help you guys, I would really appreciate it if you let me know and just simply like this video. The thing I love about YouTube is it's entertainment that's free. You don't have to sell anything or anything like that. So all I do ask is for a like if you guys did enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please go ahead and have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.